we run these big events around the world because I really think there's something that happens when you get a group of people together in three-dimensional reality. All colors, all shapes, all sizes, all ages. We have 7-year-old kids and we have 91-year-old people. We had 76 different countries come to the event we did in Turkey a couple of weeks ago. So we have a huge global community. What's come out of that, Emilio, that's been so moving for me is this youth community. We have hundreds and hundreds of kids now under the age of 25 or 26 that come to our events, and they come in legions. And I love this because they're not seduced by the world like everybody else. They want to find out answers. They're interested in important conversations. I want them to understand that there's a neuroscience of culture and that there's a neuroscience of leadership. And when you can teach people that neuroscience, they can lead properly and they can change a culture. They can understand what true cultural change means. And it's not anything different that any other cultural leader did, whether it was Nelson Mandela or the Dalai Lama or Mahatma Gandhi or William Wallace or whoever it was. There's a biology to personal change and transformation. So we have this emerging youth that has to resolve the problems that have been created by this past generation from a greater level of consciousness. And that means when everybody else is angry, everybody else is frustrated, you're going to have to show compassion. And when everybody else is fearful and worried, you're going to have to show courage. When everybody else is racing and rushing and competing to succeed and climbing over each other to get to the top, you're gonna have to learn how to be in the present moment and draw it to you. And I think if you do that in the beginning, it feels unnatural because everybody else is doing something else. But how do we become supernatural unless we start doing the things that feel unnatural? So anger is not going to resolve it. That's actually what's created. Prejudice is not going to resolve it. That's what's created it. Greed is not going to resolve it. That's what actually has created it. And so we're in a time right now, right before our eyes, we're watching the world in many ways experience such extreme polarity that the wobbling of polarity is breaking the system, right? And it's creating chaos. Is disorder. Chaos is no longer the known. We're in a big unknown right now. So when there's brain and heart coherence, God, we have such incredible data. If I trained you on how to do that, you could be running around doing 1,000 different things, and I could say, Emilio, sit down. You got 15 minutes to synchronize your heart to your brain. We do this all the time. Whether the young guy is running around chasing this 1-year-old, 2-year-old kid, one of my staff is running around doing 1,000 different things. Sit down. They sit down, and all of a sudden the music starts and you see them start moving in, and all of a sudden you see this beautiful low frequency take place in the heart. And once we see that and it starts to build, you see the parasympathetic nervous system go up, which means either relaxing, and then the parasympathetic nervous system goes down and the sympathetic nervous system goes up. And all of a sudden the brain moves into those gamma patterns, and that person, the heart is informing the brain. The heart is telling the brain it's safe to create. The heart is giving the brain information. We actually see this. Now,
the heart has intelligence.
The brain thinks, but the heart knows. So all of a sudden the heart says, Emilio, it's time to create. You're out of survival. And you get these incredible ideas. You get the mystical moment. You get the understanding. You get the download. You get whatever that is. People can do that now on command. Now, why is that important? Because most people are stressed, in survival, and unconscious in a program, and racing and rushing to try to make that feeling of emptiness or pain go away. And they're lost in the illusion of separation, thinking they need the outer environment to do it. Chaos is happening. You got to be the eye of the storm. You got to be relaxed and out of survival and awake. And heart and brain coherence means relaxed and awake. So then we take our youth, and we're investing in our youth right now because they're going to be the leaders of our future. We want to teach them what leadership truly is from the heart. We want to teach them how to make changes that are permanent. We want them to consider the whole. We want them to come up with ideas that we will be interested in supporting and backing, that will create that kind of cultural change that takes place. And most importantly, that they get along with one another. I mean, why can't we just get along with each other? Take away all the governments, take away all the different cultures, and you see people you see art events, 1,000 people, 2,000 people, all races, all cultures. We all get along. Everybody loves everybody. I mean, that's who we innately are. Now, you get a collective group of people together and they start healing other people remotely. I want that person who's been healed. I want that person, when they report their healing, we have everybody sign the day where they were in that healing. I want to be able to call you up and say, Emilio, you were one of the 8 people or 7 people that healed that person of cancer. You're one of the ones that did that, right? Now, there's an empathy that takes place in human beings. It's beautiful. It's so deep when you're part of someone else's change. That's what the tribe does. That's what the species of human beings should be doing when they're not in survival. We should be informing one another. We should be supporting one another. We should be honoring one another. We should be healing one another. We should be shining for one another to show others that they can shine. That's who human beings are. That's the way this culture, the way the species is going to have to unify during a time of incredible chaos, because community is the future, and we're investing in our youth, and we're investing in their community, and we're going to groom them to be leaders. We're going to groom them to be the eye of the storm, to be relaxed and awake, present and conscious instead of unconscious and stressed in the program. We're like everybody else. And so if you're no longer seduced by your emotions and you know how to control them, you'll be very selective to information. And while the flock is going that way, you may be looking the other way. And that's what I want enough people to do.